The following story has been brought to you by StoriesToInspire.org.
So I just want to end with this story. And this is very personal and very poignant to me. And the reason that it's so special is because I just found out about it last year, literally at this time, maybe a week or two before Pesach last year. As I told you before, my father passed away when I was 21. My mother was an almana for 40 long years. She never got over the passing of my father. I was very, very close to her. I lived 2 blocks away from her. I have a wonderful wife, Baruch Hashem, who became my mother's best friend, and it was always very, very close. There was nothing that we couldn't speak about, and I never thought there was anything that anybody could tell me about my mother that I didn't know. Last year, my nephew, Rabbi Yehuda Gutman from Lakewood, calls me up. He says, I want to tell you a story that you don't know about your mother. I said, Hudi, don't be ridiculous. There's nothing anybody could tell me. He said, no. I was with your mother the last day of her life, and I saw something that she did that I never understood, so I never told anybody. But this year, he said he's a Rabbi in a yeshiva in Edison, New Jersey. He said, this year I learned the Ber Heitev. Ber Heitev is one of the commentaries on the Shulchan Aruch, and I saw something, and now I understood something that I never understood before, and I want to share it with you. I said, Hudi, what are you talking about? He said, you know that your mother passed away right after the second day of Yom Tov and Sukkot. She passed away at the beginning of Chol Hamoed. But the last day of her life, in the morning of Sukkot, the second day of Sukkot, I came into her. She wasn't responding anymore, but I was staying there a whole Yom Tov because I live in Lakewood and she was in Paul Kimball Hospital. And I said to her, Bubby, would you like to shake the lulav and esrog? And she didn't respond. So I said, Bubby, you know, I'll give you the lulav and esrog. I'll hold it together. We'll say the bracha together and we'll shake the lulav. And she didn't respond. But I put the lulav in her hands, her fingers. I wrapped her fingers around the lulav and esrog, and I put my fingers around her fingers. And I said, okay, let's say the bracha. And I said the bracha, and we shook the lulav in all the directions. And I didn't know if she understood what was going on. You know, it didn't look like she knew what was going on. And then I wanted to take the lulav and esrog back from her. But she didn't give it to me. She was holding it onto it very tight. So I said to her, Bubby, we did the mitzvah. She didn't say anything. She just held onto it very tight. Finally, I figured, listen, if she wants to hold onto it, so who am I to take it away from her? I let her hold onto it. And the second I left go, she took the lulav and esrog to her lips, and she kissed the lulav and she kissed the esrog. He said, I couldn't believe it. I thought she doesn't know what's going on. She didn't respond. I didn't think that she said the bracha, but obviously she realized this was a heilige zach. This was holy. He said, but I told Uncle Paysach, I never told you about this because I never understood why she did it. He said, this year I was teaching the boys and I saw a Ber Heitev. You must look this up. Ber Heitev, Hilchos Pesach, Siman, Tov, Ayin, Zayin, Sif Kotan Aleph. The Ber Heitev on Shulchan Aruch. And he writes like this. Kosav Shloh HaKodesh. The Shloh HaKodesh writes, Ra'isi, Mibnei Aliyah. No, I said, okay, I'm not sure if it's Hilchos Pesach or Hilchos Sukkah. I have to look it up. Ra'isi Mibnei Aliyah. I saw the Hechera mentioned, Shahayu Menashkin Hamatzais V'Hamorah. They used to kiss the matzahs and the morah. I never in my life kissed the matzah till last year. At the Seder, me and my kids and grandchildren, we're all kissing the matzah. I can't say I did the morah. But he said, you kiss the matzah and the morah. V'chein Sukkah. Also the Sukkah, B'chnisasai U'B'Tziasai, when you go in and when you go out, you kiss the sukkah, just like we kiss the mezuzah. You're supposed to kiss the walls of the sukkah. V'chein dalad minim shebalulav. And also the dalad minim, when you finish using them, you kiss them. Why? V'hakol l'chava v'amitzvah, to show how much you love the mitzvah. V'ashrei misha oived Hashem b'simcha. Lucky is the person who serves Hashem b'simcha. Imagine on the last day of her life, when doctors would say, you know, what are you letting her survive for? She does nothing. She doesn't know what's going on. She taught my nephew, who taught me, and I taught thousands of people. You can't imagine how many people told me. They kissed the matzahs, they kissed the sukkah. The matzahs are kind of Levim Yisraelim. It's Levitic mentioned, right? That's a Seder. But that's the excitement of a mitzvah. A lady who's dying less than 24 hours before she leaves this world, she knows. She loves this mitzvah. And that was like the last thing that she ever did. And what an impression. That's what the Yom Tov is all about. That's what mitzvahs are all about. And this love and this geschmack that we have we have to give over to children and grandchildren. And if we can do that, that's when it'll be a Chag Kosher v'Sameach. Then it'll be a Heilige Freilich and Yontef.
Enjoyed this story? Come again. Bring a friend. StoriesToInspire.org